Hello everyone, we'll try that again. Sorry, that was some connection issues we were getting there. If you were tuning in a second ago, I'm outside the Phillips Stadion, or Stadium as it's called. As I was saying just a minute ago, Rangers in action here tomorrow. I'm just going to tilt this camera at Rangers in action here tomorrow against PSV Eindhoven, obviously, in the second leg of their playoff match. This is the kind of media entrance. As you can see, the Champions League branding there. We've just been speaking to Ruud van Nistelrooy this morning with Giovanni van Bronckhorst's press conference to come in about an hour and a half. And Van Nistelrooy was typically quite calm as he was last week. Main talking points from his press conference was focus on set pieces. He was saying that his team will always focus on set pieces. Said it was more of a strength for his team than a weakness for Rangers. Also spoke about Alfredo Morelos as a mission from the squad, which was obviously the big talking point earlier today. I'm just going to walk you around to the front of the stadium. What else did he talk about? Obviously referenced the atmosphere here. It's a slightly smaller stadium than Ibrox. I think the Phillips Stadion holds about 35,000 supporters as opposed to the 50,000 supporters plus that pack into Ibrox every week or two. But in a similar vein, you'd expect that the crowds will have somewhat of an influence on the game. And I asked Van Nistelrooy about that. And what he said in response was effectively, look, if you look back to the game that PSV had against Monaco, they needed to score in the last minute. Then they needed to go through extra time to set up the tie with Rangers. And he was quite quick to reaffirm that the support were very important and playing a role in that. So let's just give you another little view from this side of the stadium. So if you are travelling here tomorrow, it's pretty accessible. I got the bus, the 401 it was. Pretty accessible by public transport. Quite a residential area, as you can see. Not far at all out of the city centre, very much walking distance from the city centre. It's got a wasp attacking me there. Very much walking distance, and it's a really nice stadium. Looks relatively modern. There's kind of two quite distinctive sides to it, which I'll show you as we walk around. You can see the PSV badge and the ticket office just there in front of me. It will be absolutely packed to the rafters tomorrow. I think there's the expectation that there will be around about 2,000 Rangers fans, slightly less inside the stadium tomorrow night when the game kicks off. Obviously, it's an hour ahead here in Holland, I'll switch that camera background, than UK time at the moment. So I think it'll be about a 9 o'clock kickoff just before here. Other key talking points from the press conference. Van Nistelrooy was asked a lot about Van Bronckhorst's decision to drop Morelos, and obviously it's a huge call. Morelos is arguably Rangers' best player, certainly in a game like this and an occasion like this. If you think about the last time he came to the Netherlands 2 or 3 years ago against Feyenoord, he scored 2 brilliant goals. I think there was 2 headers on that night. Van Nistelrooy said, look, we've not really prepared for him in a way anyway, because the games that PSV will have watched in preparation to face Rangers will have featured Antonio Čolak up front. Obviously, Alfredo Morelos hasn't started for Rangers since the tail end of last season. He's only come off the bench. So in a way, it probably won't affect PSV's game preparation that much. I think, particularly given the fact that Čolak started at the weekend, they'd have anticipated it would be the same tomorrow night. But obviously what it does do is it means that they don't have to compensate for his arrival from the bench. It maybe gives Van Bronckhorst one less weapon to use in terms of changing the game. But seems very much from all the noises coming outside of Ibrox that it was a decision that a lot of people were aligned with, given the relevant factors which are highlighted on the website. Right, I'm going to give you another little look in front of the stadium here. This is what you see when you get off the bus at the Phillips Stadion, and you can see the mega store. The club shop is just there. This nice little screen in front with a very poignant and relevant message there. I'm just going to actually try and cross the road here and give you a bit of a better look at it from a distance, because as you'll see tomorrow, if you're coming to the game or if you're not, just quite an impressive building. Very modern looking. I think it's quite compact. I'm looking forward to having a look inside the stadium in the next hour. We'll have all the kind of news and videos from that as well. I say news, the news from the press conference, but plenty of coverage from inside the stadium as well. But a really nice looking stadium. I'm sure everyone that's heading over will have an excellent time, and a lot of Rangers fans are down in Amsterdam at the moment. It's only about just over an hour. I got a train and a bus here yesterday. There wasn't an option of a direct train, so that's worth bearing in mind if you are heading here tomorrow. I've got myself stuck in the middle of the road now. Looking ahead to it from Rangers' point of view, the game tomorrow, what are the key decisions now for Van Bronckhorst to make? I think that the starting 11 will be the exact same as last week, probably. Obviously, no Morelos. We'll find out today what the situation is with Ben Davies' injury, because he was out at the weekend. We'll see if that's something that's going to keep him out of the trip tomorrow, or whether he better go quickly here, or whether he will be able to feature in the matchday squad. That person wasn't slowing down for me. But because Sands and Barisic have started the last 4 games together, Yilmaz has only started 1 game so far since coming to Rangers. You wouldn't expect it to be a different back four. Stephen Davis, for me, comes back into the starting 11, and probably Tom Lawrence, who did train today, joins Malik Tillman and Ryan Kent behind the central striker. I'm going to give you just another view here from the side of the stadium, and this is a gate. There's a nice little almost like I think they call it a walk of fame of some previous PSV players, which I'm going to take you down just now. There's lots of these little cyclopaths in the Netherlands, which you don't always spot. Let me just take you through around this side. So here, as we can see, you can see through that gate. You can just see, I don't know if you can see it from here, you can just see some of the seats inside the Philips Stadion. And here is a little walk of fame, and it says, on the PSV Walk of Fame, we honour the most influential players from our history. So a few notable players in here, obviously Ruud van Nistelrooy, now the manager of PSV, but played for them at the tail end of the 1990s. Reads here, Ruud lived for goals. He scored 62 of them for PSV in 67 matches. That's not a bad record whatsoever. I'm sure Rangers fans will be happy he's not lining up tomorrow and is instead in the dugout. Matej Kezman is the next one, a player who played for 4 years that I cannot say I've heard of because I was only 4 there. Aurelio Gomez from 2004 to 2008, obviously a player that then went on to play in Tottenham. One of the best goalkeepers in the history of PSV. He broke records in the Eredivisie and won the championship 4 times in a row. That's not a bad record whatsoever. What about this for a name? Ian Robben, 2002 to 2004. At the beginning of this century is Robben, the most talented player in the Netherlands. In Eindhoven, he launches his glorious career and will become one of the best wingers in the world. And then last but not least, what a name. What about this? Mark van Bommel, the ultimate winner on the pitch, always going to the extremes to perform. His way was the only way, and in this way, he won an awful lot for PSV. And as you can see just here in front of me, through those gates, we will have, as I say, some videos from inside the stadium for you within the next couple of hours, but you can see that is where Rangers will be playing tomorrow as they bid to make it into the Champions League for the first time in a long time, the first time since 2010. I think that'll do us for now. That's effectively, I've given you a tour of hopefully most of the perimeters of the stadium. As I say, if you are heading here tomorrow, pretty accessible by public transport. If you're not, I hope I've given you a little bit of a look as to what Rangers can expect. When they travel here later today, they've already trained at Ibrox, but they'll be having a stroll on the pitch just after the press conference about, I'd imagine, 6:30. We've got loads of coverage over on the Rangers Review YouTube page at the moment and on the website. A morning briefing and an evening briefing tonight as well, so do go over and subscribe on there. Subscribe to our website as well, £2 for 2 months at the moment. Today you can read the inside story of Alfredo Morelos' squad omission, why it's happened, who made the decisions. Lots of interesting detail in there about the leadership group also having a say in the decision to not take Alfredo Morelos to the Netherlands. So do go over there and check it out. I'll be back in the next couple hours or so, as I say, with some content from Rangers on the pitch. Until then, hope you're having a good Tuesday, and I'll speak to you